Emotions are complex and powerful forces that guide our actions, shape our perceptions, and ultimately define our experiences. However, not all emotions are created equal. At any given moment, we can experience true emotions, those that come from a deep place of authenticity, or reactive emotions, those that are triggered by external events, past experiences, or unconscious patterns. The challenge is in recognizing which is which. Often we mistake reactive emotions for true emotions, leading us to misunderstand our feelings, react in ways that don't align with our true self, and make decisions that don't serve our long-term well-being. The danger of this is clear. If we misinterpret our emotions, we might engage in the wrong kind of emotional healing, causing more harm than good. In this article, we will explore the critical difference between true emotions and reactive emotions, shedding light on the psychological mechanisms that govern them. We'll also discuss how recognizing these distinctions can help you understand your emotional responses more clearly and take the right steps toward healing and emotional intelligence. By the end of this exploration, you will have a deeper understanding of how your emotions work, the tools to differentiate between your true emotional experiences and reactive responses, and most importantly, the wisdom to address them effectively. Understanding true emotions. True emotions are those that arise from a deep place within us, based on our authentic experiences and present circumstances. These emotions are connected to our core self and are reflective of our genuine feelings. They are typically in response to real situations and provide us with valuable insights about our needs, desires, and values. Key characteristics of true emotions. Authentic responses. True emotions are aligned with our true self. They arise from the present moment and are grounded in reality. Clarity and depth. These emotions are often experienced as clear and deeply felt. They tend to be more stable and consistent over time. Self-awareness. True emotions are often accompanied by self-awareness. When we feel a true emotion, we are typically able to articulate why we feel that way, and we can often trace it back to a specific event or need. Examples of true emotions. Love. When we feel love, it is based on a genuine connection with another person or situation. It's a positive emotion that reflects deep care, compassion, and warmth. Grief. Grief is a true emotional response to loss. It comes from a real experience of something or someone important being removed from our life. Joy. Joy is a true emotion that arises from experiences that bring happiness, fulfillment, or meaningful connection. The role of true emotions in personal growth. True emotions are crucial for personal growth. They serve as guides to understanding ourselves better, aligning our actions with our values, and making informed decisions. When we allow ourselves to feel and process true emotions, we become more self-aware and can make conscious choices about how to respond to life's challenges. True emotions and emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence involves recognizing, understanding, and managing our emotions. When we are in touch with our true emotions, we are better able to navigate life with a higher level of emotional awareness and wisdom. True emotions help us form meaningful connections with others, as we are able to express our feelings authentically and engage with others in a genuine manner. Sarah has always felt a deep sense of gratitude towards her mentor. When she receives a kind message from this person, she experiences true emotions of appreciation and warmth. These feelings arise naturally from her relationship and reflect her values of respect and admiration. Understanding reactive emotions. Reactive emotions are responses to external stimuli or past emotional experiences. They are often triggered by external events, personal biases, or unresolved psychological wounds. Unlike true emotions, reactive emotions are not necessarily grounded in the present moment or a true reflection of our internal state. Key characteristics of reactive emotions. Unconscious responses. Reactive emotions often arise automatically and unconsciously. They are not necessarily a reflection of the present reality, but are based on past conditioning or external triggers. Quick and intense. Reactive emotions tend to be sudden, intense, and short-lived. They are often exaggerated responses to a situation that may not fully justify such a strong emotional reaction. Influenced by past experiences. Reactive emotions are often rooted in past experiences, memories, and unresolved emotional trauma. They may arise from unconscious fears, desires, or insecurities. Examples of reactive emotions. Anger. Anger can often be a reactive emotion triggered by external frustration or perceived injustice. However, it may not always be an appropriate response to the present situation, especially if it stems from past wounds or fears. Fear. Fear can be a reactive emotion when it's based on past trauma or childhood experiences, and it arises in situations that do not pose any real threat. Guilt. Guilt is often a reactive emotion tied to the past. It can be triggered by past mistakes or unresolved conflicts, and it may cause disproportionate feelings of responsibility or shame. The role of reactive emotions in coping mechanisms. Reactive emotions are often associated with defense mechanisms, ways of coping with internal conflict, fear, or unresolved issues. These emotions may not reflect the truth of the current situation, but are an automatic way of protecting the self from psychological discomfort. Defense mechanisms and reactive emotions. Projection. Projecting our own unresolved feelings onto others. For example, if we are angry but afraid to confront it, we may project that anger onto others, believing they are the source of our frustration. Denial. Denying our emotions or suppressing them in response to discomfort. For instance, someone may experience sadness but deny it by pretending to be happy or by keeping busy to avoid feeling. John often feels intense frustration and anger at his boss, even though the situation at work isn't as bad as he perceives. This reaction stems from past experiences with authority figures in his childhood, and his current emotions are a reflection of unresolved fears rather than the present reality. How to identify true emotions versus reactive emotions. One of the biggest challenges we face in emotional healing is differentiating between true emotions and reactive emotions. While they may seem similar, understanding the distinction is crucial in addressing the root cause of our feelings and responding in a way that is aligned with our authentic self. Clarity versus confusion. True emotions tend to feel clear and grounded. We can trace them back to a specific event or need and understand why we are feeling the way we do. Reactive emotions, on the other hand, tend to feel confusing and overwhelming. They may arise without clear cause or seem to intensify without explanation. Physical sensations and emotional responses. True emotions often feel integrated with our body. For example, when we feel joy, we may experience warmth, openness, and a sense of expansion. Reactive emotions often feel more disconnected, like a surge of energy or a jolt that doesn't feel fully aligned with the situation. For example, an intense outburst of anger might feel like a sudden shock to the system, unrelated to the immediate environment. Tools for identifying and differentiating emotions. Mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness helps to cultivate awareness of our emotional state in real time. It allows us to observe our emotions without judgment and identify whether they are coming from a place of truth or reactivity. Journaling. Writing down our feelings can help us trace the origins of our emotions and determine whether they are connected to present situations or past experiences. Body awareness. Our bodies often carry emotional responses. Paying attention to physical sensations, like tightness in the chest or a lump in the throat, can help us identify whether our emotions are rooted in present reality or past wounds. A woman named Emily feels an overwhelming sense of anger every time her partner is late. However, through mindfulness and journaling, she realizes that her anger isn't about the partner's lateness, but about feeling neglected from past relationships where her needs were not met. This realization helps her see that her anger is a reactive emotion based on past hurts, rather than a true emotional response to the current situation. Healing true emotions. True emotions are often a source of valuable insight and healing. When we experience them, they help us connect with our deeper needs and desires, guiding us toward greater self-awareness and growth. Steps for healing true emotions. Acceptance. The first step in healing true emotions is accepting them without judgment. Allow yourself to feel what you feel without trying to change it. Expression. True emotions need to be expressed, whether through conversation, creative outlets, or simply acknowledging them to yourself. Expressing your emotions allows them to flow and transform. Reflection. After feeling a true emotion, reflect on it to understand its deeper meaning. What is it telling you about your values, needs, or boundaries? Healing reactive emotions. Healing reactive emotions involves understanding the triggers behind them and addressing the underlying unresolved feelings. This process often requires self-compassion and a willingness to explore past experiences that may be influencing current reactions. Steps for healing reactive emotions. Identify the root cause. Ask yourself, why am I reacting this way? Is there a deeper, unresolved issue from the past that is influencing your response? Practice self-compassion. Reactive emotions can be a form of self-protection. Be kind to yourself and understand that these feelings are often rooted in past experiences or unhealed wounds. Address the unresolved issues. Take steps to heal from past experiences that are triggering these emotions. Therapy, journaling, and conversations with trusted individuals can help release old patterns. David experiences intense fear of rejection in social situations, which causes him to withdraw from others. Upon reflection, he realizes that this fear stems from childhood experiences of being rejected by his peers. Through self-compassion and therapy, he works through these old wounds and begins to reframe his fear, allowing him to engage more fully in the present. In conclusion, understanding the difference between true emotions and reactive emotions is a critical step in emotional growth and healing. True emotions provide us with essential insights into our needs and desires, while reactive emotions often arise from unresolved past experiences or external triggers. By learning to differentiate between the two, we can stop reacting unconsciously and start responding with awareness, clarity, and self-compassion. Take action today. If you've recognized patterns of reactivity in your own emotional life, it's time to begin the healing process. Start by paying attention to your emotions, using mindfulness techniques, and reflecting on the sources of your feelings. When you start to recognize the root causes of your emotions, you can begin to heal, grow, and live a more authentic life. Join the conversation. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more insights into emotional intelligence, healing, and personal growth. Because your emotions are powerful, and when you understand them, you unlock the key to true self-empowerment.